Hi there, I'm Marius, back with the journey of implementing the Power Pages Client API. Today's focus will be on functions from the formcontext.ui namespace. The first function we are going to discuss is getFormType. At least we can differentiate create, update, and read only in Power Pages. And you see, for example, update is the number 2. I have an update form over here. To get it, I will first instantiate my Power Pages Client API. And then I will get the form type, and it will result in the value 2 because this is an update form. You can identify that, especially when you're not using the Power Pages Client API, by selecting the form over here, and then you navigate inside the entity form panel. Then you have the div with this very long ID over here, but it has the class entity form. You can differentiate between create and the other types by this input here that has the underscore entity ID. And by the way, the rest of the ID of this element is identical to this IDs. So for the Power Pages Client API, this is implemented like you first take the entity form panel, then you take the div with the class entity form inside, and with that ID you can build up this ID here with the entity ID to get the value. For create, there won't be a value. However, for example, for entity name, the value will still be there. When dealing with a disabled form, you will have a second class over here in the div that is form minus read only. Let me paste this to the console for you. So this is the class name you will find for a read only form. Maybe let's construct a use case here. Your requirement is if the form is read only, the user shall be notified why he can't edit this record. For this, usually in Dataverse, you would use the setForm notification, and let's use this with the Power Pages Client API. We're again taking the form context we instantiated earlier, and then we can use formcontext.ui setForm notification. The first value is the message that will appear for the user, and the second one is the level, so warning, error, or info, and the last one is the ID. And there we go, we have a yellow warning bar. This actually works by just the API creating an element, and here you see this element, so the ID is simply test, and you see here the class alert warning, and the Bootstrap CSS makes this appear in this yellow color you see over here. So we will now get 2 more notifications for error and info. By the Bootstrap default here, this has this light red color. You can, of course, restyle it to have a more vibrant red. And info has a blue color. A quick note for your styling with CSS. So the yellow one, the warning one, has the alert warning class. The red error one has the class alert danger. And the info one, so the blue one, by default has the alert info class. We can, of course, also change an existing text. So for example, here it's now test333. And we can finally clear those notifications by their ID. So you see here test3 is test3 again. And after I clear the last notification, the form looks like previous again. As it will often happen, right now not all functions of formcontext.ui are implemented. For example, refresh ribbon and set entity form name are not implemented simply because there is no form entity name or ribbon displayed that could be refreshed here. And for example, close has the simple function of navigating your browser back, so as if you click the back button. As of recording these videos, the Power Pages Client API is not in a production-ready state yet. However, I invite you to follow along. And if you're interested in a specific function, everything in the Power Pages Client API is open source. So hop on over to GitHub and steal your favorite bits from there.